Part 3, The Tap on My Shoulder, written mostly on the 9th of December, for Elechi, Claude and Chioma. Of a sudden, a tap on my shoulder from the other side brought to my eyes the beguiling smile of one Ikwere chief, reminding me how diligently he had taken time in his youthful years to translate Anglican hymns and prayers into his mother tongue, bringing them to life for brothers, sisters, acquaintances and friends, and how in later years, when evangelizing salesman US Pentecostal trained knocked, persistent, on our Port Harcourt door, he invited them to enter and listen attentive to lyrical myths and legends featuring Ikwere gods and goddesses. An invitation that sent them scuttling furtive down the road, their minds and spirits captive, behind doors shut tight, rigid closed, while Elechi's eyes sparkled mischievous as he spoke words of distilled conviction. Zealotry is the misguided child of destabilized, arrogant minds, which, like an overinflated balloon, requires the sharp prick of humor to free potential victims from the prison of mental castration, coercive abuse. And as you and I know, colonization of spirit and mind is a recipe for cultural confusion, loss, decline, a slave condition I will oppose in this life for as long as I live, and into the next should the problem persist, until my people are free to determine their fate. My spirit, my chi, will never rest. Note, my chi. Ikwere and Igbo word meaning personal God. Each individual has his personal God deep inside, a sort of spiritual infrastructure of the soul that guides, inspires, challenges, and sometimes warns, setting practical limits to aspirations that are morally acceptable and can be realized, and distinguishing them from those that are neither. Before embarking on any quest, challenge, adventure, be sure to consult your chi. Then, if your chi says yes, go for it. The incident that gave rise to this poem brought to the surface another memory concerning the efforts of an incorruptible, indomitable Nigerian professor of political science and Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences at the University of Port Harcourt, in gathering sufficient support among colleagues to prevent US-trained, indoctrinated, born-again Nigerian Christian evangelists from having proselytizing access to the university campus in a bid to recruit youthful, malleable converts. Like Elechi, Claude was immune to bribery, and whenever such overtures were made, they activated prompt responses in the interests of the community and the volatile, divided nation they both served. On the occasion to which I refer, Professor Ake had come to the conclusion that insidious forces were at work, religiosity harnessed in the service of a local, global, neo-colonial agenda, greed-driven pastors, confusing, brainwashing, indoctrinating, robbing the naive, intoxicated, and vulnerable on both sides of the Atlantic. Their uncompromising venal agendas, inimical to cohesive, sustainable, economic and socio-political development. Strange that a week after writing this poem, I sat down to watch a BBC One documentary on this very subject, highlighting the duplicitous tricks deployed by self-aggrandizing prosperity preachers operating with impunity in our disunited queendom, where inequality reigns supreme. their exploitative presence among the insecure, careworn and struggling. Yet one more example of the neglected problems dividing Her Majesty's riven realm. On reflection, I am certain Christ would have driven both sets of venal predators from the temple and would have given his blessing to Professor Ake's initiatives, sharing his critique of disaster capitalism and his determination to protect the temple of learning from their toxic infiltration.